Imagine the very person who will influence how much your Social Security benefits go up each year publicly, saying the program is a Ponzi scheme and should be shut down. That's not fiction. It's a real political fight happening right now in Washington. The nominee in question has a record of siding with plans that could make it harder for millions of Americans to retire with the benefits they've earned. And this isn't just some minor position. It's a role that directly impacts the cost of living adjustment, or COLA, that seniors, disabled individuals, and survivors depend on each year. In this video, we're going to break down exactly who this nominee is, why lawmakers are so divided, and what this could mean for your future Social Security payments. We'll dig into the politics, the numbers, and the potential changes that could reduce your benefits in the years ahead. Make sure to stick around until the end, because I'll tell you exactly what to watch for and when, so you can be prepared before any changes take place. And if you want accurate Social Security updates that cut through the noise, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Social Security Post. Representative John B. Larson, a senior Democrat on the House Ways and Means Social Security Subcommittee, has come out swinging against President Trump's nominee for Commissioner of Labor Statistics, E.J. Antoni. This isn't just about personal politics. Larson's concern is that Antoni has openly called for shutting down Social Security and agrees with high-profile critics like Elon Musk, who dismissed the program as unsustainable. Larson says this nomination is part of a broader agenda, tied to Project 2025, that could drastically reshape Social Security as we know it. The controversy began when President Trump abruptly fired Erica McIntarfer, the former Commissioner of Labor Statistics, after a jobs report came in weaker than expected. Larson says this was political meddling with official economic data, something that could have far-reaching effects because the Bureau of Labor Statistics (BLS) doesn't just track jobs. It also gathers the data used to determine annual Social Security COLA increases. That means changes at the top could impact the checks millions rely on. E.J. Antoni is a senior economist at the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, and a contributor to the controversial Project 2025 policy blueprint. His record shows clear opposition to Social Security in its current form. He has referred to the program as a Ponzi scheme and even suggested that middle-class seniors might be better off if it were eliminated entirely. For millions of Americans who have paid into the program their entire working lives, these statements are alarming. Supporters of Antoni say he's an economic realist who's willing to address tough financial truths about entitlement programs. Critics, however, argue that putting someone with such views in charge of key labor and inflation data is like letting the fox guard the henhouse. The Commissioner of Labor Statistics may not write laws, but they control the numbers that lawmakers use to decide policy. And in the world of Social Security, numbers are everything. Project 2025 is a policy playbook drafted by conservative groups to guide a potential Republican administration. It includes proposals for major structural changes to Social Security, including raising the full retirement age to 70 and exploring privatization options. Supporters frame these ideas as necessary reforms to keep the program solvent, while critics see them as benefit cuts disguised as fiscal responsibility. For current and future retirees, the implications are massive. Raising the retirement age effectively reduces lifetime benefits, especially for those in physically demanding jobs who may not be able to work longer. Privatization could shift part of Social Security into private investment accounts, exposing benefits to stock market volatility. Understanding this background is key to understanding why Antoni's nomination is being met with such intense pushback. Before we even get to Antoni's nomination, we have to understand the firing that created this vacancy. Erica McIntarfer was reportedly removed from her position after releasing a jobs report that showed weaker than expected numbers. Larson claims this was a clear case of the administration trying to control economic narratives, especially those that could hurt political momentum. The concern here is that if leadership is willing to remove someone for unfavorable data, what will stop them from pressuring the next person in the job to produce more politically convenient statistics? This matters because BLS data is not just about politics. It directly informs COLA calculations. If inflation numbers are understated, Social Security recipients could see smaller benefit increases, even if their actual cost of living is rising faster. The Commissioner of Labor Statistics oversees the calculation of the CPIW, the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. This is the inflation index used to determine Social Security's annual cost of living adjustment. Even slight changes in how data is gathered or weighted can impact how much your benefits go up each year. This means that leadership at BLS has indirect but powerful influence over Social Security payments. If inflation is measured more conservatively under new leadership, the COLA could be smaller, translating into less money in the pockets of millions of retirees, SSDI recipients, and survivors. This is why many advocates see the nomination as more than just a routine appointment. Larson has warned that political interference in BLS data could result in a smaller COLA next year. COLA is calculated based on inflation data from the third quarter, July, August, and September. That means the timing of leadership changes at BLS is critical, especially if new data methodologies or interpretations are introduced before the calculation period. The warning isn't just about the numbers, it's about trust. If seniors believe their benefits are being manipulated for political reasons, confidence in Social Security could erode. For many, the annual COLA is the only way to keep up with rising prices on essentials like groceries, utilities, and prescription drugs. Losing even a small portion of that increase can have a big impact. This nomination has reignited the long-standing debate over the future of Social Security. Critics like Antoni argue that the program is financially unsustainable in its current form, citing trust fund depletion projections. Defenders like Larson counter that Social Security is an earned benefit, not a handout, and should be strengthened rather than dismantled. The truth is, Social Security does face funding challenges, but there are many ways to address them without eliminating or gutting benefits. Options include adjusting the payroll tax cap, modestly increasing contributions, or investing in the program differently. The nomination fight is not just about one job, it's a preview of the larger policy battles ahead. If confirmed, Antoni could influence the accuracy and transparency of economic data, which in turn affects benefit calculations. Even without direct authority over Social Security policy, his control over inflation data could shape the annual COLA for years to come. Critics worry this could align with Project 2025's broader goal of reducing benefits. Another concern is that his leadership could normalize political influence over the BLS, making it harder to trust future reports. Once trust is broken, every jobs report, inflation reading, or COLA calculation becomes a political battlefield, and that instability could harm seniors who depend on predictable benefit increases. If you're on Social Security, pay attention to more than just your monthly deposit. Watch the CPIW data released each month, especially in late summer, to see where the COLA might be headed. Follow Senate hearings on this nomination and note where your state's senators stand. Also, stay informed about the broader Project 2025 agenda. Even if this nomination fails, the policy ideas behind it aren't going away. Advocacy groups and nonpartisan organizations often track these developments closely and provide plain language updates. One important point: this nomination alone will not immediately change your benefits. COLA for this year is already being calculated based on existing methods. However, leadership changes could set the tone for how data is reported in the future, and that can have a real impact down the line. It's also important to separate rhetoric from reality. Calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme may grab headlines, but the program is fundamentally different. It's a government-managed insurance program funded by payroll contributions, not a fraudulent investment scheme. Understanding that distinction helps keep the conversation grounded in facts. Here are 3 things you can do right now. Track CPIW reports in July, August, and September. Watch for Senate votes on E.J. Antoni's confirmation. Learn more about Project 2025's proposals for Social Security. Staying informed gives you the power to respond before changes take effect. Whether that means contacting your representatives, joining advocacy efforts, or simply planning your budget, knowledge is your best tool. This fight over one appointment may seem like inside politics, but it's about something much bigger: the security of your Social Security benefits. The person leading the Bureau of Labor Statistics has influence over the data that decides how much your check grows each year. That's why it matters who gets the job and what they believe about the program you've paid into your entire working life. So here's my question for you. Do you think someone who has openly called for shutting down Social Security should have a role in calculating your COLA? Let me know in the comments. And before you go, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an important Social Security update from Social Security Post. Your benefits depend on knowing what's coming, and we'll make sure you're ready.